Okay. So, tonight's practice, it's the first Monday of the month, and this is when I traditionally have taught a 30-second interval practice where we hold poses for 30 seconds each. Usually I use a timer, a gong timer for this, but for tonight I'm going to forego the timer. And so we're going to freestyle it a little bit, although I have two clocks, one on either side of me with second hand, so I can keep an eye on the time. So we're going to get started on our backs, and if you have two yoga blocks and you'd like to start in a chest opener, grab your blocks. You could do this without yoga blocks as well. If you have a blanket or a towel, you can roll or fold yourself something that, you know, is roughly 4 to 6 inches in width, and then you can lie back and put your upper back on either blanket or towel, let your head rest back on the ground, or two yoga blocks at whatever height is the most comfortable for you. You should feel like if you're choosing a chest opener, trying to lift your chest up gently and drop your head back just gently. So keep your head higher if you need to, let your head drop back a little lower if you like, and set your legs up in any comfortable shape. You could choose Shavasana, you could choose Baddha Konasana, or just keep your knees knocking in. All right, now as you're settling onto your mat, either flat on your back or in a chest opener, take a deep, slow breath in through your nose. And a deep, slow breath back out again. And then do it again, an even deeper breath in. And then even slower, deeper breath out. As you breathe, think for a moment about how we as human beings are storytellers. Our brains, they want to make meaning of the world around us. And we do that by telling a narrative about what is happening. For example, I heard a psychologist on the news last week explaining how a lot of us are telling the story that we're working from home, when in fact a truer story is that we're at home in the midst of a global crisis and we're doing our best to work with all of the distractions, with kids and pets and piles of laundry and not enough toilet paper and maybe not the right groceries and none of your usual routine. And sometimes when we just change the story a little bit, it allows room for grace. It allows room for us to be more patient with ourselves and to say, yeah, you know what, I'm doing the best I can. It's not going to be perfect. And it's not just like any other day, or any other week, or any other month. So, as we practice tonight, think about a story you can tell about your body. You know, my story tonight for my body is I've been pushing myself physically really hard because when I get stressed out, I try to work out like I'm 20 years old again. I put all of that extra anxious energy into my workouts. And then my 43-year-old body really resents me the next day. So my story for myself tonight is I don't have to push like that. Yoga, as gentle as I need it to be, is going to reduce my anxiety. It's going to help me sleep well tonight. I don't need to put the pedal to the metal and drive my body into the ground. Right? So my story tonight is of gentleness. Yours might be something else. But somewhere in that story, can you include in the narrative, I'm not perfect, and that's okay. So let's embrace our imperfections tonight. Now, on your next exhalation, exhale everything out completely. And then as slowly and deeply as you can, inhale until you cannot breathe in anymore. And hold that breath in just for a moment. Out through your mouth. Press your breath all the way out. And then do it again. Inhale deeply. It's a nice little ritual. I so often start class this way. We'll jump start for your breath. Once you're completely full with that in-breath, hold it in for just a moment. Sigh it out through your mouth. Press it all the way out. And one more time. Inhale slowly, deeply. We need strong rituals and routines in our lives right now to help keep us grounded. Hold that breath in. And out through your mouth. Good. If your knees are wide, draw them together. If your legs are straight, bend your knees. You can press yourself up or roll to one side off of your blocks or whatever other prop you're using. And when you're done with that, come back down onto your back and hug your knees in. And take a little rock side to side. Good. So in a moment, we'll start our 30-second flow, but first we're going to do just a few windshield wipers. Drop your feet down, widen your feet out, take your arms to a cactus shape. Inhale, sway your knees to the right, turn your chin to your left shoulder. And exhale, sway your knees to the left, turn your chin to your right shoulder. Take a couple of rounds like that, side to side. Let your breath be really the most important part here. Movement follows your breath. And use this moment of windshield wipering to observe how you're feeling. Notice how your back feels, how your hips feel, how your shoulders feel. We'll take another round like that. Knees to the right and knees to the left. And then come on back to center, and we're going to start with what I call hover core. So flat on your back, straighten your right leg out, rested on the ground. Your left knee is going to stay bent. And you're going to slide your hands under the curve of your lower back. So you could either interlace your fingers or bring your fingertips to touch each other instead. Make sure you're not under your pelvis, but you're in that curve of your low back. Now, hover core is a little hard to do for 30 seconds in a row, so we're going to do 3 rounds of 10 seconds, okay? So, take a breath in. Exhale, push your low back into your fingers, squeeze your navel down, hover your head and your shoulders and your right leg off the ground, and keep exhaling, 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 exhaling. And lower back down and take a deep breath in. Here we go again. Exhale, navel to spine, hover your head and shoulders and your right leg off the ground, and try to aim for a nice full deep exhalation. And then lower back down. We got one more round on this side, so really deep breath in. And here we go. Exhale, hover. Rather than curling your spine way up, tinier hover is better. Just get those shoulder blades to lift. And then lower yourself down. Get your hands out of there, hug your knees in for a moment, rock a little bit side to side. Good. And then drop your feet and straighten your left leg out. Slide your hands under your lower back. Either wind your fingers together or just fingertips touching. Make sure you're in your low back. Now, really deep breath in so you have enough breath for ideally a 10-second exhalation. Here we go. Navel to spine, hover your head and shoulders, your left leg off the ground. Keep that navel pulling in. Keep your hips on the mat rather than curling up off the mat. And lower down and get a deep breath in. And do it again. Exhale, navel to spine, hover head, shoulders, and left leg. Relax your jaw, squeeze your navel way down and in. Good, and lower down. One more round. A deep breath in. And exhale, navel to spine, hover. Smile. Good. And lower lower down. Unwind your fingers. Hug your knees in. Take a little rock side to side. Good. Now, drop your left foot to the ground and squeeze your right knee toward your chest and then a little bit wide. We're going to try a 30-second half happy baby. So a strap might come in handy here. You either throw your strap over your foot and point the sole of your foot toward the ceiling, or reach up, hold the outer edge of your foot or hook your big toes, and likewise point the sole of your foot toward the ceiling. Gently pull your right knee down next to your right side ribs and breathe deeply. Feel your lower back elongating on the right side. Relax your shoulder blades a little bit. That right arm is working, but try not to overwork. Relax your neck. And we're just at about our 30 seconds. And slowly set that right foot down and we'll switch sides. Hug your left knee in, widen it out, and then either switch your strap over to your left foot or reach up. Hold your foot, point the sole of your foot up toward the ceiling and draw your knee gently down. And breathe. Relax your back. Especially feel the left side of your low back lengthening out. A little extra pressure on that left side from the way your left knee is drawing down. Relax your shoulders. Breathe deeply and slowly. Make the most of every breath you have within the 30 seconds. And that's it. Let go. Straighten your legs out. Take your arms overhead. Hook your thumbs. Point your toes. Little baby arch of your back. Take a deep breath in and out through your mouth. Change the hook. Flex your feet. Tuck your chin. Tuck your tailbone. Flatten your back. One more deep breath in and out. Unwind, bend your knees, lift your feet, rock yourself up, hands and knees, and come over. So come right on over onto hands and knees once you're up. And if you need to, pad your knees with a blanket or a cushion. All right, now we're going to do 3 cat-cows. So here we go when you're ready. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, your chin, your sit bones. Exhale, tuck your tail, round your upper back, bow your head. And 2 more like that. Slow it down. Inhale to arch. Exhale to gently round. And 1 more like that. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Good. From there, let's head into a warm-up downward facing dog. Walk your hands a bit forward, tuck your toes under. Lift your knees, bow your head, traction your spine, and walk in place if it feels good. Give your head a gentle shake no, gentle nod yes. Get grounded in your fingertips and across the base of your fingers, not just the heels of your hands. Stretch your inner thighs back, stretch your outer thighs back. Reach your side waist nice and long. Good. Take another slow, deep breath like that. And then lower to your knees and lower to your belly. All right, so stack your forearms, make a little pillow, and rest your chin down. But tuck your toes under. Okay, this is a little bit different than what we normally do. Keep your pelvis down and lift your kneecaps and your thighs off the ground. So press your pelvis down and lift your thighs up and back. Now from there I'm going to call this Russian Sphinx. From there, with your forearms stacked, lift your chest a little bit, lift your head a little bit. I don't know what it is with me and the Russians lately. All right, so thigh bones lifted, low belly, pelvic floor drawing in, shoulders down away from your ears. My goal for this is really to take your thigh bones up and back, up and back, up and back. So keep lifting your thigh bones. You're almost there. 1 more breath. And then lower all the way down. Hands to your side ribs. Press up. Hands and knees and take a child's pose. Hips back towards your heels. Bow your head down and breathe deeply. Feel your breath in your body. Not every pose tonight is going to have massive sensations. Some poses will be easier for you, some poses will be harder. Can you turn your attention to whatever sensations, large or small, you feel? Good. Come on up to hands and knees. And we're going to head into a kneeling side plank. Swing your right foot off your mat. Stretch your left leg back. Stand on your right hand, your right knee, and take your left arm up and close to your ear. Now lengthen your spine. Pull your belly in a little bit. Pull your chin in a little bit so your neck feels long. Externally rotate your right arm slightly. Inner elbow turning forward. Slide your shoulder blade down your back. Got time enough for about one more deep breath in, deep as you can. And then exhale, hands and knees, and we'll change sides. Left foot swings off your mat, right leg goes back, right arm up and over. Good. Push the mat away a little bit with that left hand, but don't let your shoulder creep up towards your ear. Get long on the left side of your neck. And breathe deeply. A little bit of rib cage hugging in for core support. Notice that sensation of side bend here. Got about another deep breath in here. And then exhale, hands and knees, downward facing dog. Now, think about making this dog more symmetrical. We're still not super duper warmed up, so you might keep your knees bent. And take your thigh bones back, upper thigh bones back a little deeper and stretch your lower back a little longer. Or you might feel like you can straighten those legs out a little bit more. Externally rotate your arms just a bit. Try to avoid those shoulder blades creeping up towards your ears. Inhale, plank pose. Good. Now, thigh bones back the way we did in our Russian Sphinx. Thigh bones back, but without pitching your pelvis. So your navel is in, you're not in a back bend. Push the mat away firmly with your hands. Stretch your shoulder blades apart. Grip your fingertips a little bit. Tight chest, tight ribs, but broaden your collarbones a little bit forward so you don't feel like Quasimodo. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knees down, lower to your belly. Sphinx pose, up onto your forearms. Low belly in, shoulders down. Press into the tops of your feet. Engage your legs a little bit and just slightly take your thigh bones back. Not radically the way we did a moment ago, just a little bit. Good. Breathe, feel your back body rising and falling as much as your front body, as much as your side body. Good. And lower yourself all the way down. Press yourself up, hands and knees, and stand up on your shins. If you need extra padding, give yourself some extra padding. Stretch your right leg out to the right. I'm going to do a straight leg gate pose. You can either rest on your heel, toes toward the ceiling, or point your toes. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, slide your right hand down your right thigh. Always have the option to hold the back of your head if it feels better on your shoulder. Keep lengthening up through your spine, but relax a little bit into this side bend. Shoulders drop back and down, low belly hugging in just slightly. Breathe deeply, especially expand your left side as you inhale. Relax a little bit on that left side as you exhale. Another deep breath in. Good. Now exhale, come out of your side bend and take your hands down to the floor. We're going to head into a thread the needle. Take your left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath your body. Rest on your outer left arm and shoulder. Rest on the left side of your head. Your right arm can stay where it is. It can come up. It can half bind. Any of our normal choices for thread the needle. Breathe really deeply into your upper back, into your left side shoulder blade, especially. Feel that rotation in your upper and mid back. Last breath like that. Good, and then press yourself up, come back to hands and knees, and stand up on your shins. Stretch your left leg out to the left, either on your heel or pointed toes. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, slide your left hand down your left thigh. Pull your belly in a little bit. If you can, keep that right arm long and get a good feeling of stretch in your right side, great. If not, hold the back of your head, relax your shoulder down. Keep your breastbone elevated a little bit. It's easy to get saggy in this pose. A little bit slouchy in this pose. We've got a deep breath in, and then exhale, cartwheel up, come on down with that left leg stretched out to the left. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your body, lower down. And choose a good position for your left hand, on the ground or up, leaning back a little bit or half bind. Relax your neck. Should feel like most of your weight is in your outer arm, outer shoulder, shoulder blade. Breathe deeply there, all the way in as you inhale, all the way out as you exhale. Good. And here we go. Back up, hands and knees. Get that left knee back in and downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, walk your hands back to your feet, forward fold at the back of your mat. Now you can keep your hands down, you can dangle, but try to drop your head. Keep your legs bent if that helps you to get a little longer in your lower back rather than puffed up in your lower back. So primarily stretch your hamstrings. Keep on breathing. Got about one more deep, slow breath. All the way in and all the way out. Now, bring your hands up to your thighs. Heels of your hands to your hip creases, and we're in half forward fold for 30 seconds. Push your thighs back. Stretch your chest forward. Good. Breathe there for a moment and notice what that's like to keep your thigh bones way back in space. Really helpful for a lot of poses in yoga. When our thigh bones start to push forward or our pelvis pushes forward, it can really create a lot of irritation in our hip flexors. So feel that here. Grow your low back especially a little bit longer for another deep breath in. And exhale all the way up to stand. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Start by resting your fist on the back of your pelvis and squeeze your elbows back. Now that might be where you stay, or you lift that fist up. Take your arms up a little bit without closing off your chest to avoid tipping yourself forward. This may be plenty, so stay here if this is plenty. If you want a little bit more, then fine. Breathe and open up across your chest. Inner arms, inner shoulders, stretching out. Let's take another deep breath in. And exhale, unwind your fingers, drop your arms and let them swing a little bit forward and back. Good. All right, from there, step up to the top of your mat. If you have blocks handy, put them up toward the top of your mat so they're available to you. And if you have a cushion or a blanket, have that to the side of your mat so you can easily pull it in under a knee as needed. All right, now we're at the top of our mat in mountain pose. We're going to do a half gomukhasana, tricep stretch before we move on. So inhale, arms up, bend your right elbow, grab hold with your left hand, lift your breastbone. Tighten your low ribs in, drop your shoulder blades a little bit, and feel your breath rising and falling. Thigh bones just a little bit back here, so notice if you have a tendency, and you might not, but if you have a tendency to thrust your pelvis forward and harden your hip creases, keep your thigh bones just ever so slightly back. Good. And after your next exhalation, we're going to come on down. And then go out and up again. Inhale. Bend your left elbow. Grab hold with your right hand. Thigh bones just subtly back. Low belly in a little bit. Shoulders drop down. If you can get your chin level to the floor, great, but don't strain. And breathe. Notice what you feel. Every pose brings with it its own curiosity. Its own little insight, little portal into how your body is holding tension. Good, and arms come down. Good, and give them a little swing again, and this time cross them in front and behind just a bit. All right, now, top of your mat, mountain pose, arms to your sides. Inhale, reach both arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. All the way in, thigh bones back. Take a half forward fold. Inhale and stretch your side body really long. Exhale, step yourself back to downward facing dog. So that's our entrance now into a crescent lunge. Take your right leg up and back. Inhale. Knee to nose, exhale, step through, set your left knee down, and if you need to add some padding, lift your chest and take your arms up when you're ready. Good. Lunge forward, get a stretch for that left hip and thigh. Use your abdominal muscles for support. You might look up, you might keep wider arms, or you might like narrower arms, or even interlaced fingers point up through your index finger. And breathe all the way in. And now exhale, hands down, wiggle your right foot forward, half splits. Grab blocks if they're helpful and walk them back under your hands. So you're rocking back, straightening your right leg until you get a hamstring stretch. You can point your toes toward the ceiling, but you can also keep the sole of your foot down. That's a useful technique for hyperextenders. Okay, breathe. Let most of the stretch come from your pelvis tipping forward rather than from rounding your back. But if it feels good to add a little flexion, especially in your upper spine, add a little flexion. All right, now we're going to lunge forward again. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up, and twist your right arm toward the ceiling. Right arm. So your left hand is going to rest down on the mat or on a block, or a block substitute if you need. Squeeze your left side glutes, rotate in your upper back. If it makes sense, rotate your chin, look up. You might lean that right arm back just slightly. Good. Deep breath in. We're going to side angle next. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh. Lift your hips a little higher and ground your left heel. Take your left arm up and over your ear and make your right thigh bone parallel with the long edge of your mat. You can deepen this side angle if you like by dropping that right hand down toward the floor, but only if that feels manageable, comfortable, you're getting a good release out of it. Really long from your left pinky toe to your left pinky finger. Good. Belly in, ribs rolling open. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, left hand down to the mat. We're back to a lunge again. Now we're heading to warrior one. Step a little closer, ground your left heel. Come on up, take your arms up overhead. Again, the choices are wide, narrow, or interlaced fingers. Straight with your left leg, bent with your right knee. Try not to let your right knee come past your ankle. Pull your pelvic floor muscles in and up and see if a flatter back, less of a back bend, or a little extension, a little more of a back bend. See which one feels best to your body. Feel your breath rise and fall. Take a deep breath in. Straighten your right leg, hinge from your hips, pyramid pose. You can pause and put your hands on your right thigh and push that thigh bone back. You might stay there, or you might take your hands down to blocks or to the mat. I personally like the thigh bone push. If you can tell, thigh bones back is what I'm all about tonight. Thigh bones back, really good technique for keeping your hips happy. Breathe here. Push your right foot down and forward and pull your right thigh bone back, back, back. Deep breath in. Exhale, come back to warrior one, and then lift your left heel. So now you're in a crescent lunge. Arms come up again. You might bend your back knee so that stretch isn't quite as intense for your left side hip flexor. You might straighten a little bit more. Engage those left side glutes. Lift your left thigh bone up and back just enough to feel the front of your left hip opening. Good. And we're so close now. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, warrior three. Hinge from your hips. Lean forward. Step in and up on your right leg. Lift your left leg parallel-ish to the floor. Good. Hug your right thigh bone back in space. You want a deep hip crease on that right side. This left side as well. Lift that left thigh bone up, up, up. against gravity. Stretch your chest open a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And crossed ankle forward fold at the top of your mat. Left in front of the right. Bow your head down. If you have blocks and you like to put your hands on your blocks, do that here. Good. Breathe. Most of your weight in your right foot. Even lean a bit forward and put most of your weight in the front of your right foot. The right heel gets a little lighter. Drop your head, relax your neck. 5 more seconds. Keep breathing. And now uncross your ankles, step back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Take a little walk in place. And inhale, come forward, plank pose with knees up or down, chaturanga. Good. Point your toes, thigh bones back, engage your legs. Inhale, cobra, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, plank, thigh bones back. Exhale, chaturanga, nice tight core. Inhale, pelvis down, but legs engaged, cobra. Downward facing dog. Exhale, 1 more round. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Exhale. Cobra. Inhale. Thigh bones back. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Take your left leg up and back. Inhale. Crescent lunge. Bend your knee. Bring your left foot forward to your left thumb. Set your right knee down. Add padding if it helps. Take your arms up. Good. And then lunge. Enough to feel something without losing your core support, without losing the strength of your legs underneath you as well. Your left hip should be working, right side glutes and hamstrings working, arms wide, narrow, or interlaced fingers. Breathe. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself where you need to. Deep breath in. Hands come down, grab blocks perhaps for half splits. Wiggle your left foot forward, rock your weight back until your left leg is straight enough to get a stretch. Toes toward the ceiling. With a flexed foot, we'll open up your calf muscles more, but pointed toes a little more protective for your knee. And breathe, and again, tilt your pelvis forward to get most of that hamstring stretch. And perhaps add a little bow in your back. All right, deep breath in. Exhale, we lunge forward for our lunge twist. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee. Left arm toward the ceiling. Right hand can be on a block or on the floor. Squeeze your right side glutes. Gently lift that right thigh bone up. Rotate, not in your pelvis, not in your lower back, but in your mid and upper back, in your neck. Open up your chest. Might lean your left arm back just a little bit. Good. A deep breath in. And left forearm to left thigh. Lift your hips a little higher. Side angle. Ground your right heel. Take your right arm up and over your ear. Good. Pelvis tilting to the left now. Belly in. You can slide that left hand down lower if you like. Shoulders away from your ears. Breathe and stretch your right side body, especially open. Lift your right kneecap a little bit and push that right thigh bone back in space without letting your left knee knock in. Take a deep breath in. And exhale to get to a lunge on the ball of the right foot for a moment. And then step a little closer, warrior one. Ground your right heel again. Lunge forward into your left knee. Your arms come up wide, narrow, or interlaced fingers. Right thigh bone back. Squeeze your glutes and hamstring just gently, not a clench. As you lunge forward, use as much core as you need. Depends on how much back bend you're adding in. And you can test that out. Perhaps look up, perhaps lean back a little bit into the strength of your right leg. Take a deep breath in. Pyramid, straighten your left leg, hinge from your hips. Take your hands for a moment to your left thigh and push that left thigh back. And then perhaps your hands come down to the mat. Okay, or maybe not. Ground into the big toe ball of your left foot. Low back as flat and long as you can. So if you're going to round your back, do it in your upper back, in your neck. Keep on breathing. Relax a little bit. And now lunge forward, crescent lunge up on the ball of that right foot. Arms come up again. Wide, narrow, or interlaced fingers. See where it makes sense to stretch a little deeper, straighten your right leg, or let your hips sink down a little lower, or where it makes sense to back off. Bend your right knee, or let your hips lift up a little bit higher. Breathe as deeply as you can. Relax your jaw a little bit. And now a deep breath in. And swing your arms back, step in a little bit, step up for warrior three on that left leg, right leg parallelish to the floor. Left knee might bend a little bit so you can work on squaring your hips and using all the muscles around your left hip and thigh to support you. Hug your left thigh back, lift your right thigh up, tighten your ribs in a little bit as needed, squeeze your upper back. Take a deep breath in. And a crossed ankled forward fold as you exhale. Right ankle in front of the left. Bow your head. Grab blocks if they're helpful. Under your hands. Move your weight a little bit forward to the ball of your left foot. Get lighter in your left heel. Slow down your breath. Relax your neck. Good. And uncross and step back. Downward facing dog. Good. Alright, now from down dog, lower to child's pose so we can get set up for a couple wavy vinyasas. Take a deep breath in, arms stretched out in front of you. Exhale, cat pose. Hips over knees, bow your head. Inhale, start to drop your pelvis. Pull your belly in. Roll your shoulders back. Keep your knees down, but just lightly start to pull your thigh bones back in space, your upper thighs especially. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, child's pose. Do it again. Inhale in child's pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, do another kneeling upward facing dog. Shoulders over your wrists, thigh bones back a little bit. Exhale, child's pose. Take a deep breath in and exhale, cat pose. Now this time let's see about a 30-second upward facing dog. You might use that time, keep your knees down and work on protecting your back a little bit more. You might push into the tops of your feet, hover your thighs, and get a little deeper into your up dog. Lift your gaze. If you're rolling to the pinky side of your hands, try to get that index finger side down a little bit more. Almost there. And child's pose. Crescent. Walk your arms to the right. Shift your hips to the left a little bit. Bow your head down. Breathe and stretch out the left side of your back. A couple more breaths like that here. Now take a really deep breath in and change sides as you exhale. Arms to the left, hips to the right a little bit. Bow your head down. Use enough effort to get a nice stretch for that right side, but let go where you can let go. Just about there. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, back to center. Come up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Walk your hands toward your knees. Roll to the balls of your feet. Come on up to stand. We're going to stand on one foot for just a little bit. So if you like to hold on to something, a piece of furniture or a wall, move yourself over. We're going to stand on our right foot first. Put a little bend in your left knee wide, tree pose. Sole of the foot comes up to your calf or to your inner thigh. Hands to your heart, and then any shape you like. So I'm turning my palms up toward the ceiling and getting a little stretch from my fingers here, from my inner wrists. You might keep your hands at your heart or go out wide with your arms. Hug your right hip in gently. Relax your left hip down a little bit. Unwind your fingers, quad stretch. Grab that left foot or ankle, point your knee toward the floor. Drop your shoulders. Stand up tall. Breathe and gently squeeze your heel in. You might add just a little lift of the front rim of your pelvis. Keep that right thigh bone back just a little bit. Good. And now let go. Bring your left knee up into your chest and out wide, right arm to the right. If you like we did on our back, standing half happy baby. Reach for the sole of your foot or your big toe, point the sole of your foot forward, and then perhaps straighten that left leg out and wide. Drop your shoulders, lift your chest. Guys are rock stars. Keep breathing. Right thigh bone back just a little bit and hug that left thigh bone deeper. Deep breath in. And exhale, bring it down. Give your legs a little shake. Whew. Good. All right, we're going to do a chair pigeon before we move on. So I'm going to turn this way. Bend both knees and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Good. You can keep your hands down. You can take your arms up by your ears. Good. 30 seconds. Reach your hips back. Stretch your right outer hip. And breathe. Belly in a little bit, especially if your arms are up by your ears. Don't back bend. There's a little hint of lifting of your chest for sure, but you need your rib cage hugging in. Last breath like that. And come on up to stand. Uncross your legs, jiggle them a little bit. Give them a smack. Pat your thighs, pat your outer hips, pat your glutes. And then lean forward a little bit, bend your knees a little bit, pat your thighs, pat your outer thighs, your hamstrings. Work your way all the way down your legs, and then back up. Good. Good job, legs. All right, feet come in, getting ready for tree pose on the second side. Stand up tall, put a little bend in your right knee, widen your right knee, and sole of the foot comes to your calf or above your knee to your thigh. Hands to your heart to get started, and then any shape from there that strikes your fancy. Lengthen your spine. Hug your outer left hip in without thrusting your pelvis forward. Good. Take a breath in. And we get our quad stretch. Arms come down. Grab that right foot or ankle with your right hand. Kneecap toward the floor. Breathe, drop your shoulders. Squeeze your heel in. Good. Chest just a little bit lifted. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, right knee up and wide, left arm out to the side. If you want to add on standing half happy baby, that might be as far as you comfortably go tonight. Seems to be about as far as I comfortably go tonight. You can add that wide straddle, great. Good. Don't strain. Breathe. Breathe. Breathe and bring it down. Good. Give your legs a shake. Woo, step up to the top of your mat. Let's take a vinyasa before we move on. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale. Oh, stop. Chair pigeon. I almost forgot. I didn't have Andrew here to tell me what I was missing. All right, first, chair pose. Left ankle over the right knee. Sit your hips back. And then if you like, reach your arms up. But you might keep your hands down. Good. Breathe. If you can sit your hips a little deeper, great. Try not to let that right hip sway out to the right. Hug it back and in just a little bit. Use your core to stop yourself from back bending. And we're done. Come on up, uncross. Okay, now come up to the top of your mat. When you're there, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bow all the way in. A half forward fold, inhale. Exhale, step or hop, chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale, look forward, lift your heels high, inhale. Bend your knees, rock back, exhale, step or hop forward, forward fold at the top of your mat. And a half forward fold, inhale. And a full forward fold. Exhale, come all the way up to stand. Look up, reach up, inhale. Hands to your heart, exhale. Step out wide on your mat, turn sideways. Turn your right foot all the way, we're getting ready for warrior two. Turn your right foot all the way out to the right. You might widen that right foot to the outer edge of your mat a bit. Turn your left foot 10 or 15 degrees to the right. And here we go. Bend your right knee, arms out parallel to the floor. Look over your right fingertips. Push your left thigh back in space without letting that right knee knock in. Drop your shoulders, lift your chest a little bit. Breathe. Listen to the feedback from your body. Sometimes you'll get a clear feedback of go deeper. Sometimes back off. Straighten your right leg, shorten your stance. Wiggle your left foot a little closer to your right foot. Let me think about how I do this. Take your right arm behind your back and grab your left upper arm. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Let your left hand slide just a tiny bit down your left thigh. Turn a little reverse triangle with a stretch for the right side of our neck and throat. Breathe there. Good. One more deep breath in. And then bring your chin upright. Take your arms out parallel to the ground. Triangle. Hinge from your hips. Take your right hand to your shin, your ankle, block floor, left arm straight up. Tilt your pelvis. Externally rotate your right thigh a little bit. Pull your navel in enough for support. If you can rotate your ribs up a little bit, rotate your chin up a little bit, great. Keep your spine in one nice long line. Open up that right inseam of your right leg. Now deep breath in. Look down, half moon. Step in and up on your right leg. Lift your left leg, parallelish to the ground. Tilt your pelvis to the right. Triangle can be a good place to stay. So stay there if you need to or want to. Just like triangle, rotate your ribs up a little bit, shoulders back and down, hug your right hip in, a little externally rotated in your right thigh. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your right knee, step your left foot back on your mat, turn and parallel your feet, and then fold and walk your hands over toward your left leg. Take hold of your left leg and gently pull yourself a little closer and bow in over that left leg. Breathe deeply. Getting a deeper stretch for that left side set of hamstrings down from your left sit bone. Maybe getting some on the right side of your back. Alright, deep breath in there. Exhale, walk yourself back to center, hands to hips, inhale, flat back, come all the way up to stand, exhale. Widen your feet out. Turn your left foot out to the left. Get ready for warrior two. You might widen that left foot out, right foot 10, 15 degrees. Here we go. Bend your left knee. Arms out parallel to the floor. Look over your left fingers. Play with the rotation of your right thigh. Sometimes a little more rotation toward the short edge of your mat on the left feels more comfortable. Sometimes a wider rotation, opening up that right hip. So pay attention. Drop your shoulders. Drop your right hip down. Good. Take a deep breath in. Straighten both legs. Shorten your stance. Take your left arm behind your back. Hold your right upper arm. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. And just a tiny bit, let that right hand slide down your right thigh. Good. Pay attention to your posture. Keep it a little bit lifted. Relax the slope of your shoulder on the left side. The left side of your neck. Slow your breath down. And another deep breath there. And then chin comes up, arms out parallel to the ground. Hinge your hips to the side triangle. Left hand down, right arm up. Hug your left thigh bone deeper into your hip socket by tilting your pelvis, pushing your mat down and forward a little bit with that left big toe ball. Little external rotation on that left thigh. Might rotate your ribs up, might rotate your chin up. Pull your chin in though. Your navel in. Take a breath in. You could certainly stay here, or half moon. Bend your right knee. Step in and up on your right foot. Open up again. Pelvis tilting. Right outer hip engaging for sure. Hug it in, but avoid clenching it. Good. Squeeze in around your waist. Rotate up a little bit in your rib cage. Keep tilting your pelvis to the side. Amazing, amazing. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Bend your right knee a little bit. Step back on your mat. Turn, parallel your feet. Walk your hands over to your right leg. Take hold and gently pull yourself in. More deeply stretch your right hamstrings, the left side of your back. And breathe as deeply, slowly as you can. Good. One more like that. And walk your hands back to center and heel toe your feet to about shoulder distance apart, even a little wider. We're going to try Bhujapadasana, arm pressing pose. So bend your knees and bow in and see if your elbows will go back behind your thighs. If they will, you might need to find blocks to put your hands on, or you might be able to take your hands back behind your heels and sit down on your elbows. Your elbows make a shelf. You got to push down into the mat and don't tip your weight backward or you'll end up on your butt. If you can wiggle your feet together and cross your ankles, wiggle your feet together, cross your ankles. It's called arm pressing pose because you want to squeeze your thighs into your upper arms and then maybe your feet hover off the ground. Good. Give it another breath or two. And then widen your legs, sit your butt down on the ground. Good. Squeeze your right wrist. Squeeze and release, a pulsing squeeze. My dog is looking at me like I'm crazy. Squeeze your left wrist. She's over it. Back to sleep. Then make fists and circle. Good. And change the direction. Good. Give your hands a little shake. Good. Get over onto your knees. Two options here, camel or what I call lightning bolts. It's a back bend that starts in hero's pose. So you choose hands to hips, curl your chest up, or fingertips back behind you, lift your hips up, but mostly lift your chest in either pose. Mostly lift your chest. While your hips are lifting, try not to lead with your thigh bones. Okay, thigh bones, your hip creases should stay a little bit soft. It can help to really pull your lower abdominals in. Lead with your breastbone, your collarbones. Stretch your inner arms, inner shoulders a little bit. Take a deep breath in and exhale, lower your hips down. Good. Now, from there, child's pose is an option, or crow pose. If you want crow pose, come on up toward the top of your mat. This is our last big pose before we head over to the wall. So get your butt in the air, put your knees on your outer upper arms, hands shoulder distance. Rock your weight forward, grip your fingertips, squeeze your knees in, and see if one foot, maybe both, will lift. Gonna bend your elbows, make a shelf. Your head and your face are gonna come a little bit closer to the ground. Fingertips gripping helps with that sensation like you're going to fall on your face. Give it another breath. And then shoot it back or step it back, plank. and take a vinyasa if you want it. So chaturanga, cobra, or upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take a breath in, your down dog, and exhale, walk your hands back to meet your feet. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Up, reach up. Hands to your heart. Good. Mop yourself off a little bit. Wipe your glasses off a little bit, and let's find a wall space so we can go upside down. All right. So we're going to start with the potential headstand. Now, I don't practice headstand anymore after a neck injury that I sustained a couple years ago. So I do have an inversion base that I'm going to pull out for this. It is possible to make your own inversion base. If you have two folding chairs, you can turn them towards each other, or two really sturdy benches. But headstand down on the ground, so I will instruct in headstand, and we'll try a 60-second headstand, so a full minute. But I'm going to go up in my inversion base, okay? So to get set up for your traditional headstand, get as close to the wall as you need to. Come down onto your forearms, interlace your fingers. Put the crown of your head down with your head backed up against your hands. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up, walk your feet in. Now lift one leg, take a breath in. Try not to hop yourself up, try to, as slowly as you can, push, pull. Pull your thigh bone back on that lifted leg, and that's what will really help you come up. All right, now from there, try to stack your legs over your hips over your shoulders. Use your core, narrow your waist a little bit. Reach up through your legs. Should be, if you're in headstand, pushing into your forearms to get a little lighter on the crown of your head. Shouldn't feel most of your weight in the crown of your head. Good, and breathe. Notice if, as your legs are overhead, if you push your thigh bones forward, try to soften your hip creases just a little bit. If you engage your glutes and your hamstrings at all, that will help keep your thigh bones back. Good, keep breathing. Got about 15 seconds. You certainly can come down early if you want to. Almost there. Good, and now slowly descend, one leg at a time. Good, come on up to sit. So find a comfortable seat, interlace your hands behind your head, push your head back into your hands, pull upward, and traction your neck. You should feel your throat muscles engaging a little bit, and the back of your neck really long. Take a deep breath in, and out. Now drop your arms down, inhale, lengthen your neck. Exhale, rotate your chin to your right, look over your right shoulder. Come back to center, inhale. And exhale, rotate your chin to the left. Come back to center again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. And then inhale, come up again. And exhale, tilt left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, tuck your chin into your chest. And then inhale, swivel your chin, quarter circle over to your right inner shoulder. And exhale down to the center of your chest. And inhale, swivel left inner shoulder. Exhale down to the center of your chest. Lift your chin up from there, take 3 symmetrical shoulder rolls. Good, and 3 in the other direction. Good. All right, so let's think about handstand. You could certainly practice headstand again or another inversion of your choice. You could take your legs up the wall and lie flat on your back if you want to. If you're getting really tired in your shoulders, it'd be a good idea to throw a strap with a loop in it over your arms around your outer shoulders. All right, so let's get not super close to the wall. We need to be at least 5 or 6 inches away, hands under shoulders. This is for handstanders. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees, walk your feet in, lift one leg, take a breath in, and exhale, give a kick. See what happens, 30 seconds start. That might mean You kick for 30 seconds. If you're up at the wall, externally rotate your arms. Relax your neck a little bit. Engage your legs. Keep your thigh bones back. Squeeze your glutes and hamstrings just a little bit. Good. Breathe. 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 And if you're up, come on down. It's 30 seconds. Have a seat. Squeeze your wrists one at a time. Whew. Good. Change sides if you haven't yet. Then make fists and circle around a few times. So if we can, we're going to go up for 30 more seconds. Change the direction of your wrist circles, and then give your hands a little shake. All right, so let's get set up again this time. Try to kick up with your non-dominant leg. All right, so get yourself set up, shoulders over wrists. You got plank in your arms. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees, walk your feet in. Opposite leg lifts, take a breath in. With your core engaged, give a kick. If you make it to the wall, then externally rotate your arms, push the floor away, stretch your spine really long, engage your legs. Point your toes or flex your toes or point your toes. Good. Breathe. Breathe. And come on down. Oh, Lordy. Squeeze your wrists. Okay. Now my heart rate's up. Give your hands a little shake. Come on back onto your mat if you're away over at the wall. All right, we're gonna sit like a mermaid if we can, with our hips to the right and our feet to the left. You can adjust this stance by widening your knees. You can sit on a blanket, on a pillow, on a block. Good. Now normally we do a side bend here, but I've invented a new pose. It's called Crescent Mermaid. And it's a lot like a Crescent Child's pose. So start to tip yourself forward and walk your hands a little bit to the left, the side your feet are on. Now I like to fold all the way down and put my forearms down, almost like I'm doing a forearm plank. And then I put my right elbow up against my right knee or shin, and I push back against, elbow against knee, and that helps me get really long on the right side of my back here. If that doesn't feel the same for you, then you could be just leaning in a little bit. You could be folding all the way down and reaching your arm out like we do for Crescent Child's pose. You might get something like a pigeon stretch for your right hip, or you might feel this more in your back or in the side of your waist. And a couple more breaths before we move on. One more now. Good. And now bring yourself up. Half Lord of the Fishes. Cross your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. And twist yourself to the left. Take your left fingertips behind you. You can hook your right elbow outside your left thigh, or elbow around the front of your thigh. Ground both hips, drop your shoulders, and breathe. Start to encourage everything to slow down a little bit. Look more deeply inward at the sensations your body's feeling. Unwind from your twist. Uncross your legs. We're going to come onto our backs for reclined pigeon and then come back up for our regular pigeon. So come onto your back, right ankle over the left knee. And if you can, lift your left foot and hang on to your left thigh or your left shin. Squeeze in. You could rock side to side here. Keep your pelvis grounded down. Relax your head and your shoulders back into the mat. And 5 more seconds here. Now, if pigeon on your back is the right thing for you, stay here. Otherwise, uncross your legs and rock up to sit. Scooch up toward the short edge of your mat. Tilt your right knee open to the right, pull your right heel back in toward your left hip, and then lean to your right outer hip, swing your left leg around. Now you can add any padding that you like. I like a little cushion under my left knee. But we're going to curl up for about 30 seconds, and we're going to try thigh bones back here on that left side. So tuck your toes under and engage your left side glutes and hamstrings. Your left thigh bone may even leave the ground a little bit. If that feels too intense as you're curling into a back bend, don't lift your knee up, but do make your thigh bone just a little bit lighter. Try it for about 8 more seconds here. Good. Relax your thigh down and forward fold. Put your forearms down, stack them up, make a pillow, rest your head. You could find a block to rest your head on. If this irritates your knee, folding forward over your knee, then 2 choices: pigeon on your back or stay on your front, but stay up a little bit and really push the mat or the floor down and forward with your hands or forearms to alleviate pressure on your knee. Now you could stay like this, or prop on your forearms in your forward folding pigeon. Reach your right arm back toward the back of the mat. Bend your left knee carefully, slowly. If that feels okay, grab hold of your foot. Keep your left forearm down if you can. Make your right hip heavy again. Twist a little bit gently, open your chest on the right side. Stretch your quads on the left side. That might be exactly where you stay, or keep your knee bent, but switch your hands and come up a little higher. Your right hand on the mat or even on your right thigh, left hand goes back for your left foot or ankle. Lift your hips a little bit higher here off the ground, and then puff your chest up. Little baby back bend, don't overdo it. Use your glutes and hamstrings again to try to pull that foot in a little bit. Keep your thigh bone from pressing forward completely. Almost there. Good, and now lean forward, straighten that left leg out. If you're on your back, come on up. Rock to your outer right hip, swing your left leg around. All right. Straighten your left leg out. Janu Shirshasana. Tip your right knee open to the right. Inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, fold forward over your left leg. Bow your head in gently. To get a deeper hamstring stretch, press your left thigh bone down into the floor firmly. To back that off, let your knee lift away from the mat. Pull back a little bit on your left foot to drive that left thigh bone just a little bit deeper into your hip socket. Now, after your next exhalation, press yourself up. Widen your right thigh to the right. Keep your right heel coming in towards your pelvis. And we side bend. The back of that left arm, the inner left leg, right arm up and over. Karanasana, as I like to call this. All right, so right fingertips arcing for your left toes. You can hold the back of your head instead if you like. Stretch out long in that right side body. Good. By the way, I could name a lot of poses after all of you. I would name Warrior One after Bruce. He does the most beautiful Warrior One I've ever seen. Deep breath in. And exhale, cartwheel up. Good. Bend both knees. Get both feet out in front of you and swing your feet over to the right. Prop up on something if you like. We're going to take our crescent mermaid forward fold here. So take a breath in. When you're settled, lean forward. Walk your hands a little bit to the right. And then maybe come down onto your forearms. And if you felt like elbow against knee, pushing back against it was useful, then great. If not, you might stretch that left arm out and away a little bit to the right. Bow your head down. And breathe. And a couple more here. Now, after your next exhalation, bring yourself up to sit and cross your right foot to the outside of your left leg. Half Lord of the Fishes. Turn and twist. Always have the option to straighten your bottom leg out. Top arm in whatever shape feels best. You can hug the knee in a little closer, or final twist a little deeper. Drop your shoulders, round your hips, turn your chin back, and breathe. Good. Take another deep breath in. Unwind from your twist. Uncross your legs, come onto your back for left side pigeon. Left ankle over the right knee. Pick up and hold on if you can. If it feels good, sway a little bit side to side. I definitely named chair pose after JC. The only person in the world I know who loves chair pose. Should be a support group for those people. Alright, take a breath in. You could stay here or uncross. Rock yourself up, scooch on up toward the short edge of your mat. Bend your left knee and rock to your left. Find your way into your left side. Forward folding pigeon will curl up a little bit, tuck your back toes under, and if you can, lighten your right knee just a little bit. Hover your thigh a little off the ground. Breathe. Don't overdo it. That right thigh bone back in space. And now relax it down and forward fold. Rest your head if you can, but if it makes more sense to keep pushing the mat away with your hands or forearms, please do, to ease pressure on your knee. Alright, take a breath in. If you want to keep going into a twisting, quad stretching pigeon, prop on your forearms, then twist to the left, reach your left arm back. Bend your right knee, hold your foot or ankle, and stretch right thigh, but also your left hip. Drop that left hip down a little bit. A little spinal twist. Breathe while you're there. And you could stay like that, or bring your left hand down and forward, lift your hips a little higher, take your right hand back. You might pull in, but you might back off a little bit. You might back bend a little more, tip your head back. You might lean forward a little bit, find a little bit more ease. Breathe down into your belly, into your pelvis. Lift your pelvic floor muscles a little bit as you exhale. Good. Almost there. And lean forward, straighten that leg. On your back, come on up. Lean to your left, swing your right leg around. Janushirshasana, right leg straight, left knee tips open to the left, take your arms up. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward and fold. Bow your head. Relax your shoulder blades a little bit. Get another breath here. And then bring yourself up. Widen your left thigh to the left. Back of your right arm inside your right thigh, left arm up and over, side bend. Fingers reach toward your right toes or hand holds the back of your head. Your whole left side opening up from your outer left hip, up through your armpit, Deep breath in and exhale. Cartwheel yourself up. Bring both feet out in front of you. Give yourself room to recline. Come down onto your back. Good. Arms by your sides. A final back bend here. Take a breath in and it's bridge pose. Exhale. Lift your hips up. You can wind your arms deeper underneath you and interlace your fingers. You could full wheel if you like. Hands by your ears. Puff your chest up. Take a breath in and exhale. Use the strength of your legs and arms to come on up. Keep your hip creases a little bit soft in either case. Hug your low belly in. Relax your neck. Gently puff your chest up. Bridgers, come on down. Full wheelers, take one more deep breath in. And then tuck your chin. Lower to your shoulders, come on down. Everybody loosely hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Good. If you can still hear me. Good. Okay, drop your feet down. And we're heading into a final spinal twist. Shift your hips to one side. Spinal twist here. Knees to the other. Any shape you like for your spinal twist. So as your knees tilt in one direction, you reach arm out in the opposite direction. Drop your shoulder. Relax from your outer hip up to the inside of your chest there on the other side. Down your inner arm. And after your next exhalation, slowly change sides. Rock onto your back. Shift through center. And drop your knees to the other side. Reach out through that opposite arm. Relax your shoulders back and down. Your inner knees, inner thighs, and your outer knees, outer thighs. And after your next exhalation, rock back onto your back, shift to center, pick your feet up, hands on your kneecaps, stir 3 circles around for the back of your pelvis. And then 3 in the other direction. And take a moment to think about what you need now to be comfortable and warm for relaxation. Find any props now that you need. Give yourself a pillow or a neck roll, a roll behind your legs. Cover your eyes if you like. Turn off lights if you like. And come on down onto your back. And stretch out in Shavasana. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the rise and fall of your breath. Feel your body on your mat. Feel the ground underneath you. Holding up your hips and your legs, your upper back and your arms, holding up your head. Feel the front of your body rising up as you inhale, and sinking back down toward the back of your body as you exhale. Let yourself rest. Notice the sensations that you feel, large or small. Feel your breath coming in through your nose, moving out through your nose. Feel the sensation of your clothing on your skin. Notice what sounds you hear. Notice how your breath feels as it fills up your lungs. And follow the path of your breath out of your body. Feel your lungs releasing. Feel your breath leaving your body through your nose. Relax your fingers and toes. Relax your hands and feet. Relax your arms and legs. Relax your pelvis. Relax around your waist. Relax your rib cage. Relax your chest and your shoulders. Relax your neck. Relax your head. Practice letting this moment be exactly as it is. And then the next moment. And then the next moment. Notice what's good in each of those moments. The feeling of your body resting. feeling of stillness in your mind. The knowledge that you did something really good for your body tonight. And now take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. And gently start to wake yourself up. Move your fingers and toes, your wrists and your ankles. And stretch your arms overhead. Take a deep breath in again and out through your mouth. Bring your arms down to your sides and bend your knees. Roll over to one side and settle in there for a moment. And once you're all the way settled, take one more deep breath in. Out through your mouth. And use the strength of your arms to press yourself up to a seat. Low again. And once you're up, inhale, stretch your arms out. And exhale, hands to your heart. Namaste.